Welcome to my channel. I'm trying to look at the actual camera, but it's like it looks over this way. When I'm doing the vertical, it actually lets me look straight into the camera, so I don't know where to put my eyes at. But I got on here for something totally different, but God told me to talk about this. So I haven't been on here in a while. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for my new family who have subscribed to my channel. My channel is meant to encourage you as well as become the best version of myself on my success journey. And what I'm coming on here today is to say that you can't go to the next level until you fix that relationship. You can't go to the next level until you fix certain relationships. As soon as I say relationship, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's the relationship with your mama. I don't know if it's a relationship with the old friend. I don't know if it's a relationship with your kids. I don't know if it's a relationship with your dad, a relationship with yourself. You can't go to the next level until you get that relationship right. The reason why I decided to rebuild the relationship with my daughter is because I seen the effects of a parent passing away, and then the child is stuck trying to figure things out because they didn't have the opportunity to, they didn't make best of the time. So I didn't make best of the time with my mom and dad due to my immaturity of asking certain questions to help me heal from childhood trauma of them, not being there, abandonment issues, trust issues, as I would wanted them to be. So my dad passed away when I was 23. He died in 99. I think I was 23. 23, getting ready to be 24. My mom passed away when I was 28 years old. So, and then I realized that, wow, I went through a lot of depression during this time after, especially when my mom passed. When my dad passed, I immediately cried because he never knew that he had a grandchild. And I had stopped talking to him because I was so disappointed with him going in and out of prison, not realizing that his addiction to drugs, which I did not know that my dad was even addicted to drugs. I just thought he kept entering into the prison system because of him choosing to do crime, which, that's part of the reason why. But, and if you like, are my eyes playing tricks on me? They're not. I'm just moving this back because I've never did a video. I hardly ever do a video sideways, but I know it would be a longer content video, so I'm doing it sideways. I don't know how to look into the freaking camera and talk because I know I'm looking this way. Anyways, so I wish I had the opportunity with my dad to get to ask him questions about why he wasn't there. What was his childhood like? I didn't even understand on asking a parent, well, how was your childhood? Why did you choose to do the things that you did? But we take it a lot of times personal because it feels personal. I'm not a therapist. I'm none of that. So you would need to go see your own therapist to get the terms and everything about certain things. But this is just my experience. My back is killing me, y'all. I'm here at the gym. I was just about to do a 3-minute video before I go into the gym because I'm telling myself I need to get it together with doing more content, but just mentally I just haven't really been there. So that's why you'll see me posting videos with probably just a word of encouragement and some music in the background. But my best friend was like, Sharita, you need to make more videos. My other relationship is with my mother, who she got off drugs at the age of 39 by finding out that I was pregnant with my daughter. Which I know it was her wanting to be the best version of herself for her grandchild, right? Because she wasn't able to be that for me. You would be like, Sharina, well, oh my God, that's the apology. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand really, like, this is her making her wrongs right by doing by getting off drugs. I found out through the whole process of her getting on a, I hope through her going back and forth with her doctors, taking her to her visits, that she was on drugs from the age of 16 to 39 years old. I had no clue that my mom was on drugs for 23 years, which means she was on drugs when she was pregnant with me. She had me when she was 17. I didn't have the opportunity to fix that, but I fixed that post-death, right? So through my healing, my intentional healing of like, you know what, I want to heal the relationship with my parents, even though they're no longer here. I can still write things down, talk to God, talk out loud to my parents, talk out loud to myself, go to therapy, do what I need to do for me, which was going to therapy, writing things, journaling, prayer, reading the Bible, but really more prayer than anything, and just intentionally getting a better understanding of who they are. So my therapist was like, Sharina, when a person is on drugs, I was even like, I thought my mom had a drinking problem. Parents just didn't talk to you about their business. Back in the day, I'm 49 years old. It was, stay in the kids' place. So a parent ain't talking to you like we overly talk and share with our kids today. A lot of us do, because we're wanting to do better than what our parents did, right? None of that was the case back then. So I just thought my mom drank a lot. But my therapist was like, Sharina, when someone has an addiction, it's a disease and they're not themselves. That was like an epiphany for me. I was like, what? It was nothing personal to you. They were dealing with their own issues. They were not even the person who, and I was like, yeah, I can see when my mom got off drugs, she was totally different than what she was when she was on drugs. She was like, exactly. So that was, you see me taking deep breaths. For some reason, my back is hurting today, y'all. Like I twist a certain way. I never have back issues, but just the enemy be busy. I blame everything on the enemy. Like, they didn't want me to come work out today. I actually lost 11 pounds, by the way. I know my face look fat right now because of the positioning of the camera, but I actually, I didn't go live, but my thing is because I said I would start going live at least 3 times out the week, but, excuse me, y'all. Sorry. I get eyelashes in my eye. And I know y'all like, Sharina, you wear glasses? This is my second time wearing these glasses. I just don't put them on. But actually, I'm going to take them off for this video. She said your mom and your dad they were not themselves when they were on drugs. That made me have compassion towards my parents. That really helped me with the healing process. And then as I was looking at podcasts like Iyanla Vanzant, and I know some people are like, oh my gosh, you're looking at shows. Yes, that helped me. YouTube, that's why I absolutely love YouTube. It introduced me to the Eric Thomas, the Iyanla Vanzants, the Tony Gaskins, the Jamal Keens, the CJs, the Carl Phillips, all of these different people who I would never really have known to help me through my process. So I was like, I want to be better for my daughter. I want to make sure that my daughter gets as much healing as she possibly can get before I leave the planet Earth. I plan to be here till I'm over 100 years old. That's my goal. But I know the effects of not healing. One, you're going to make wrong decisions, because part of the effects for me was low self-esteem, no self-worth, not able to focus, no type of discipline. Well, I had discipline in certain areas, but just lost and confused, and then continuing to choose the wrong individual over and over. And you're like, why am I continuing to make this same mistake? I keep picking the same man, but he looks different. I keep making these same decisions in my life where I'm procrastinating, where I am disorganized, where I am not as driven as I want to be. As I start something and I stop it. I'm never finishing through with something that I start. Why am I doing this? A lot of those things come from our childhood. And it's not to beat up the parents, but we got to go back in order to understand the present. It's not staying stuck and, oh, you grown now, you should be able to, move past that. No, you got to be able to deal with it, because trust me, that comes up. That's why I'm in therapy now. I'm in therapy now and was diagnosed with PG, prolonged grief disorder, PGD, prolonged grief disorder, to where I never really truly grieved my mother. And it had a lot to do with unfinished business. I realized from looking up the term from my therapist, because my therapist diagnosed me with that, because I kept telling her, why is this pain? I was in therapy probably about a month ago, on the floor, on my knees, crying like my mom had just died. And I was like, why does this pain just hurt? Why it won't go away? When does it go away? And it came from where basically the reason why that is so is that my grandmother took care of me. My mom was there, and then she left. And then when she come back, I'm like, okay, she finna be mama again. She even did her best to raise me from the age of 5 until the age of 9. And then after that, I went back to my grandmother. So I was with my grandmother majority of my life. And then I ended up going with my aunt and uncle from the age of 14 to 20. But I craved that relationship with my mom. And although she wasn't there all the time, I had a bond with my mother. I actually just wanted her so bad to be there consistently and raise me. And so because that never truly happened on a continual basis for a long period of time, when she passed, it was as if this loop kept happening. She comes, do good, she leaves. And so now she's gone physically in the physical forever. Just imagine how that really impacts a person. And then I have to go back to work 2 weeks after my mom passed. So I said, 2 weeks? I said, I just lost my mama. Are you serious? They was like, yeah, you got to come back into work. And so that's part of what I teach my daughter. I'm like, no matter if I pass or not, people don't care. This world don't care. And it's not about this world don't care. People, you don't have people that care about you. I'm saying we're responsible for us. I am responsible for my own healing. You are responsible for your healing, Bree. When I pass, celebrate. I want a celebration. But do your crying. Do your healing. Immediately go seek a therapist. Immediately find a community. From what I saw with the prolonged grief disorder, it says that part of it too. Oh my gosh, part of it, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. I'm trying to breathe and my back just hurt. Part of it is that I didn't know that I needed to immediately get this community of support, whether it's a support group where people have similar situations, that I can talk to people who can relate, go see a therapist, stay with a therapist. I went to the therapist, but I was angry because she brought up my father, and that triggered something in me, and I was so angry with the lady, which I didn't realize I had unresolved issues with my father. But you have to make sure you start the process of healing immediately. If not, then it will be suppressed. It will take forever to heal those wounds or heal that relationship, and you will forever be grieving in your way. But as time go on, sometimes things get worse, but it can also get better. So with my daughter, I told her, I said, look, you're not responsible for what happened to you as far as of me not being the best parent, but you're responsible for what happened to you to get the healing on what happened to you, right? So I'm here. You would be respectful. I demand that. You would be respectful for anything that you ask me. I don't mind you asking me any questions. Whenever you have therapy, come back, share. So that's what she did. She's like, hey, Ma, when I was in therapy, they brought up, the certain things, and I realized that this is something that's displayed in our family and with you and your character. So can you explain that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that was from X, Y, and Z. And so we would have discussions like that, or she would, tell me she felt, where she was just so alone, even though I was in the house, because there's a thing where parents can be present, but don't be present, right? So your kid can be in the house, but they're in their room all the time. Or you can tell them, hey, come out your room. Why are you always in your room? And they come out and they be with you, but they still feel disconnected because you're not all the way into it. Like, you can be there having conversations. I'm talking about 2 and 3 hour conversations, and your kid can see that you still don't have their undivided attention. They don't have your undivided attention. So those things needed to be healed, and she's way better now, right? But we lived together, and when I tell you it's been the best decision I ever decided to do was, one, have a child, because she wasn't a mistake. She was actually what I wanted. Whew. Excuse me, y'all. I had told her dad after seeing her cousin Kaylin, I didn't even have to say nothing. I just looked at him. He said, no, you can't have one. I said nothing. We was at his cousin Tina's house, and I looked at him and I was like, I want one. So anywho, so she was always wanted, and it's just that because I didn't realize, because I thought, when I have a kid, I'm gonna do better than my parents, because in my mind I'm thinking I'm, got my stuff together because I got my own place, I got my own money, not realizing it takes way more than your place and money to be able to be a parent, baby. It takes a lot: emotional intelligence, patience, everything. You need a village, you need education on the do's and don'ts of parenting, how to deal with, like I say, emotional intelligence, how to deal with your emotions when you got a kid crying, who cries. My daughter cried for 2.5 years. I had to get up. Like, she wasn't the kid that, after 2 months, they slept through the night. After a year, they slept through the night. Not my child. My daughter required, at a certain time, a cup every, 3 to 5 hours. It was just crazy. She never slept completely through the night until after she was 2.5 years old. So how do you deal with that? You know what I'm saying? So it's the best thing I ever did. My daughter said, because I asked her, I said, Bree, I said, why did you choose to forgive me? For, and when people hear, even the therapist, she said, I'm still trying to figure out, like, what is it that you did? I'm like, you can still be there, take care of your kid, go out of the country, travel, go to vacations, have birthday parties, sweet 16s, big proms, and you can still make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And so she was like, Mom, I saw that you did the work. I saw that when you said that you was going to do better, such as your decision making with certain things, you actually did it. I'm seeing you continuing to do it. And I was like, dang, my mom really did what she said she was going to do. And she said, since you put in the work with our relationship, I'm like, I gotta forgive my mom. She was like, it was just like a no-brainer. So I was super grateful for that. Just today when I was on my way to, the gym and run some errands, she was like, Ma, I love you. And sometimes we take those things for granted, because I was like, huh? She said, I love you. And it touched my heart. I was like, wow, because I think a lot of parents, we always tell our kids, I love you. But then, like, when they say it back, no matter what age they are, my daughter 27 years old, but when they say it back, for my child to say she loved me, I know she really, truly loved me. I was like, wow, I must be doing my job well, even though I'm not where I want to be at. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not where I want to be in my life, it's like, okay, on the parent side, man, I got that thing locked. You hear me? And I feel so happy to say that. But I put thousands of hours of talking through things, and things have been challenging. We have difficult conversations. You know what I'm saying? To where you're like, she might get on my nerves about something. I might get on her nerves. I might irritate her on certain things. But we find a way to get through it. So I don't know how far you are in this video, if you even watched this video full through. But I know that was one relationship that God said, I cannot elevate you to another level until you fix that relationship. So that was one relationship. Then I have another relationship where I rebuilt my relationship with my friend. And because I grew up with my cousins, I felt, hey, that is my friends. And a lot of people who have like big family, like a lot of siblings, y'all, and if y'all close, y'all probably feel the same thing that I'm saying. My cousins were my friends. I didn't value friendships so much because I was like, I got my cousins. And granted, it wasn't like it was a lot of us. It probably was like a handful. But them handful felt like about 100 cousins because we talked about everything. A lot of us talked about everything. I experienced a lot of things with them. So I'm like, so when my friend comes into my life and, you know, we're traveling together. She's there when my daughter is like, my daughter was 9 months. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize until we parted ways that she was just such a really good friend. Even when she moved away from Tampa to Georgia, she would come back to Tampa for my freaking birthday. She did that, I think, a couple of years in a row. She made sure that she would check in on me. She was just such a great friend, and I didn't even realize it, you know. And I reached out to her after I let go of a relationship that really was one of the reasons, the main reason why we actually stopped being friends. I reached out to her and I just, hey, you know, I just wanted to let you know that I see you. Now that I've done part of my healing, I see what relationships was, and I realized, because in my mind at the time I was like, oh, she's jealous of me. Oh, she's being mean towards me. She don't want to see me happy. There we go. She don't want to see me happy. And it was like, girl, it's quite the opposite. I want to see you happy, but the decisions you make at home, girl, baby, no. It doesn't show your value. It doesn't show your worth. You're making decisions, poor decisions on this relationship. And so, you know, I reached out to, and I didn't even know that it would start a relationship again between us, but I'm so grateful for it. And that was one relationship that I'm grateful that I was able to restore. Because the reason why I knew I needed to talk to her or restore the relationship, because my sister, my ex-sister-in-law, but I call her my sister, we're very, 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 very good friends. Matter of fact, part of my healing with my daughter, a main part of my healing with my daughter is because of her. She was the one that told me that I needed to be more transparent with my daughter. Again, I came from an era, kids should be seen, not heard. Why she need to know my business? Say, no, you need to let her know what was going on with your relationship. Yeah, that's going to really help. So her best friend passed away. And when her best friend passed away, I immediately thought of my friend. And I immediately got sad, y'all. I was so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, if she passed away today, I just felt myself being so sad. I was like, there's no way that if I didn't really care about her anymore like that it wasn't meant for me to reconnect with her in some type of way. So that, the saddest moment for my friend was like one of an epiphany moment for me about friendship and valuing it. And so I'm so happy that we actually reconnected. And so, and just also doing better by myself and making better decisions for myself. But I just wanted to come on here and say that I know I might have seemed like I went on and on, but I hope you can get some type of, you know, as Tony would say, you know, eat the meat, spit out the bones from this video. But you can't really go to the next level until you actually restore those relationships. It does require you to be vulnerable, respectful, patient, and it's something that is not for everybody. It is hard to do because it's really hard to do, but it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding once you do it. So those kids, we gotta respect the kids. And again, the kids, y'all gotta respect us too. So for kids, for children, you have to be respectful towards your parents. It's in the Bible. Same thing with us. It's in the Bible. Like, God holds both of us accountable. We gotta be respectful to our parents, and our parents gotta be respectful to us. You gotta do it. It's just required. Okay? that ain't all I wanted to say. I just don't like this camera really in my face like that. I didn't know it was going to be this. I at least wanted it to be like further away. But anywho, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share. I typically don't say that, but I'm saying it in this video. And I'm so happy that I'm doing a long form video, because I typically don't do it the sideways. I'm always doing vertical, which is my shorts. I pray to do more videos, okay, y'all? If I can, I'm going to try to record some stuff while I'm in the gym to post. I don't know how many people are in there, but neither here nor there. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.